Hi friends, how are you all doing? My name is August, this is Cozy Rosy Reads, and today we're doing the June TBR jar challenge, which is incredible because that actually means it's been a full year since I started using this TBR jar challenge prompt thing to help me pick my TBR each month. It's been a full year. That's just so wild to me. I have no concept of time. How was that a year ago already that I first started doing this and implementing this? It has just been such a staple in my life now to have my books picked out for me so I can be a little less indecisive, but then I can still be a little bit of a mood reader. So I hope you all are doing really well. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, because we have so many newbies, each month I pick 10 prompts from this jar. There's like little paper challenges and prompts in here that help me choose my TBR. I pick 10 because I am very indecisive and I am still a mood reader, so that gives me enough options per month to still have free will, to still have autonomy. So that is what we're gonna be doing today. And at the time of filming this, it's actually May 31st, and I finished a book like 2 days ago. So I needed a new book and I wanted to just get a head start on the June TBR. So I did pick a prompt prior to filming this. So we're actually only going to be picking 9 prompts because I picked a random prompt, and the prompt was to read a book that I had most recently purchased brand new. And that's actually very rare for me to have a brand new book, but I actually had one. I had a brand new book that I bought. It was such an easy prompt to do, and I immediately picked it up and I have started reading it. And that is Her Daughter's Mother by Daniela Petrova. This is a book that I found in my bargain book section at my local grocery store. They usually have like $5 books there. And this is like a literary fiction thriller. It follows a young woman who has been going through it in terms of IVF treatment, trying to get pregnant for years. Her long-term partner has just recently left her, and she just finds out that she's pregnant. She feels this kinship through the donor because she has an egg donor instead of a sperm donor, and she becomes a little obsessive with this egg donor. And at the part I'm at, which I started this last night, so I'm only 30 pages through, she has actually ran into the egg donor on the subway, and she is now following her. And I think that their lives are going to become entrenched. But what really sold me on this, because summertime, I just really want a lot of like thrillers, something really fun, something engaging and engrossing and page turning. So basically, the egg donor goes missing. And our main protagonist, whose name is Lana, might have been the last one to see her alive, the egg donor. But can she admit that because she's actually been stalking this woman? Already, the writing style is just like a lot of fun. It's really page turning. It's really engaging. I'm really enjoying it. So definitely stay tuned for either like a reading vlog coming up soon or my monthly wrap up to hear my final thoughts on this. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. It's just page turning. It's fun. It's quick. It's easy to read. I just really like psychological thrillers. They usually don't typically become my favorite books of all time, but I do enjoy them. And that's exactly what I'm looking for right now. And that's why actually right after this video, I'm done filming, I'm gonna sit outside because it is beautiful out, and I'm gonna bring this to a park and I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna get some sun on my skin with some sunscreen on and just have a jolly good time. So I'm really enjoying this so far. I will say though too, cover art is not my favorite. You know, I try so hard not to judge a book by its cover and actually read the plot and the first like page or so to see if I would vibe with it. I definitely was vibing with this, but can I just say, like, okay, I love the font Futura, okay? I freaking love the font Futura. If you are a type person and you've noticed in my videos, I do use Futura for my captions sometimes. If I need to add a caption, it's always Futura. But can we please stop putting it on book covers? It just like does nothing. This font does nothing. Anyone else? Like, I have seen so many books lately, mainly in like the bargain section, maybe it's an older fad, but just using Futura as the title font, and I'm just like not a fan. And I'm not a fan of this cover. So when I go to the park today, we're gonna be reading it like this. We're gonna be reading it like this. So that's the first book of June, is Her Daughter's Mother. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It seems like it's gonna just be a very fast-paced psychological thriller about women and relationships. I'm very, very curious. So that is the first book. And now we can begin with the actual prompts choosing on the spot. So I hope y'all are doing really well. I know I already said that, but thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Okay, first, I guess second prompt of June. What are we gonna be reading in the month of June, my friends? Your most recent purchase. How does that happen after I saved my other one in a candle here. After the last book bought brand new. How does that happen right frickin' after? Okay. Oh no. So prior to this video, I had a video where I went antique shopping and book shopping. I'll link that one down below. I bought some used books and I was so gung-ho about buying a book and then immediately starting it like that day, which I rarely do. Typically I buy a book and then it goes on these shelves, and I didn't read. I didn't pick up any of those books. Spoiler. But unfortunately, one of those would have been my most recent book purchase, but today, why do I do this? Today I actually went grocery shopping and I was at Five Below. It's my favorite place just to like stock up on some random stuff. And they had a section of like actual like young adult books there, which is very rare. Typically they have a lot of like self-help books or kids books, and this looks hokey as all hell. Okay, I am telling you now, it looks hokey, but this is like the epitome of summer for me, is like hokey, thrillers, fun, light, easy breezy. So this is legitimately my last purchase, and I'm like very embarrassed to even pull it out right now. But it's Killer Content by Kylie Roache. On the back, in very large font on top, it says 30 million followers, one dead body. And it's all about the 6 teenagers who make up the lit layer have it made. This is like so not anything I would normally pick up, but I was like, I have to. What is this? It says a beachfront mansion, millions of followers, stunning good looks, and sponsorship deals worth more money than they ever dreamed. They live together making videos about their perfect lives. So it's like they're a TikTok house, except it's not so perfect after one of them turns up dead in the infinity pool. I love that they have to explain that it's an infinity pool in this. When the group TikTok account starts posting cryptic messages, the police limit their investigation to the members of the house. Everyone in the lit layer has reasons that their lives would have been easier without Sydney Reynolds, but only one of them killed her. I have to. I avoid TikTok like the plague. I have not downloaded TikTok, but yet I still watch TikTok videos on like IG Reels or whatever. And the premise of it and TikTok and social media in general terrifies me, and seeing it in literature is really interesting, but to have it be almost like the sole thing is like strictly TikTok. Like this is the book of like an era. Like this is the book of like the current generation, and it's such a time capsule book, I feel like, that I have to read it. This is the book of our time. It's the most relevant thing we could possibly read right now. Or like friggin' TikTok houses and influencers and mega rich teenagers doing dance moves. Yeah, so that's legitimately the last book I purchased. I wish I also had not purchased this today and I could have picked up one of the books that I actually got at like a used independent bookstore, but alas, this is just what happens. I mean, fun, right? This is the most June book ever. It's summer, it's light. It's gonna keep me engaged, hopefully. I think it's just gonna be a lot of like YA ridiculous fun. Most likely will not become a favorite of all time. I can imagine that this will almost immediately go into my little free library donate bin right after, but it's fun. That's what we're looking for. So I guess that's the second book of June. I have a feeling I will actually read it this month. Ooh, next prompt here is 3-word title. Oh, I know exactly. As soon as, oh, yeah. I have many 3-word titles. We have The Rose Garden, The Scent Keeper, The Shell Collector. Oh, now that I'm looking at all of this, now I'm kind of debating between 2. But I have several. I have multiple. But the 2 that I'm thinking of right now, the first one that immediately came to mind was actually Sexing the Cherry by Jeanette Winterson. I love Jeanette Winterson's writing style so much. Sexing the Cherry is a dazzling novel of history, fable, and myth, the story of Jordan and his mother, the dog woman who live in pestilent London during the reign of Charles II. When Jordan travels off to see the world, he learns that time is one and every journey conceals another within. Journeys bounded only by the limits of imagination. As the pieces of this narrative shimmer and coalesce like beads of mercury, brilliant and mutable Jeanette Winterson once again demonstrates the scope of her singular vision. So on the back it is blurbed as it fuses history, fairy tale, and metafiction into a fruit of a memorably startling flavor. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm gonna go with. This is definitely what I'm gonna go with. I want something saccharine, fruity, summery, delicious, poetic, all of the things. This is what I'm gonna add. But when I saw The Shell Collector by Anthony Doerr, I was quite tempted as well, because this is a short story collection that follows a lot about wilderness, nature, the beauty of nature, travels from the eastern coast of Africa to the pine forests of Montana. It charts a vast physical and emotional landscape and explores human condition in all its varieties: metamorphosis, grief, fractured relationships, and slowly mending hearts. After reading a little bit more of the blurb of Sexing the Cherry, this is definitely one that sounds way up my alley, and it's a little bit shorter too, which I love in the summertime. And I've definitely been wanting to read another Jeanette Winterson. I think the last one I read, which was actually the first I ever read, Gut Cemeteries, I think I read that either last June or July, and I really loved it. I love the writing style. It is so up my alley with the bizarre. It's very fragmented, very absurdist, very metaphorical, and honestly just so cool. So I'm gonna add Sexing the Cherry that as my 3-word title prompt. I'm so excited for my next Jeanette Winterson, and hopefully it will make up for the fact that I'm reading something like killer content. Not that killer content is any lesser than any sort of literary fiction. I'm not meaning that at all. It's just more of, I know killer content is gonna be a book that I'm not gonna rate highly. I should clarify that. There's no judgment for reading. What you read is what you read. But for me personally, I should have clarified that earlier, but for me personally, I definitely know that I tend to give higher ratings to books that are way more surrealist, magical realism, fantastical, beautiful writing, instead of very plot and thriller focused. I rarely give thrillers or mysteries or even horror a high rating. Hopefully that clarifies things a little bit, my friends. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and hop into prompt number 4. Book set in space/space elements. I know for a fact that this prompt showed up in my last year's June TBR. What is happening? I'm getting the strangest sense of like, oh, the stars are aligning, space themes. This is what happened the first time I did it, and it was an amazing TBR. I read 9 out of the 10 books on my TBR for the last year's June. I need to get back to that. I need to get back to reading way more. Right now, I am lucky if I finish 5 books a month, which is very sad. Okay. Space themes. Let me see, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know what I find. I have 2 books here that are science fiction and take place in space. The first is The First Sister by Lyndon A. Lewis. This has been on my TBR several times. I actually tried to read it last summer because it was a gift from my sister, and I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get through it. I couldn't read it. I was not feeling super attached, but it was also because at the time I had just read another book that was really out of my comfort zone. I had read a fantasy book, and science fiction is something that I really like if it is a little bit more absurdist, if it's a little bit more surreal. So this is a maybe. I would still want to read it, especially because it was a gift. And then the other book is another gift, a gift that I got for Christmas called Light from Other Stars by Erika Swyler. I had never heard of this, but it follows an 11-year-old who is obsessed with becoming an astronaut. It takes place in the 80s. Her dreams seem almost within reach. Her father's a scientist. He makes an invention that alters the fabric of time. Decades later, Nada, our main character, has realized her long-held ambition and is traveling aboard the spaceship Chala, part of a small group hoping to colonize a distant planet. But as she floats in zero gravity far from Earth, she and her crewmates face a serious crisis. This sounds really good. I'm very curious. I know nothing about it. I never heard of it before until I was gifted it, so I think I'm gonna add this. It sounds really gorgeous and unique, and on the front it is blurbed saying an absorbing, propulsive story of exploration and loss, and that sounds really good to me. Some more literary fiction, but with more futuristic science fiction elements, including space travel. So I'm excited. We shall see if I can get to this. Oh, let's move this stack so you can actually see it. There we go. There it is. Nice. Prompt number 5. What else are we gonna read in June? Oh my gosh. Horror. Our prompt is just horror. I like that. What do I have? That's just straight up horror. Oh man. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know. I think this one for sure. I don't know if I have anything else that's like just horror. I only have one, which is a problem. I would definitely like more, please. I'd like more horror. I really enjoy reading horror. It usually also doesn't become my favorite like book of all time, but I still love that genre so much. So I'm gonna pick up my next Graham Joyce book, which is Tooth Fairy. I read Graham Joyce's book Dreamside earlier this year? Did I read it this year? No, it was last year. Time is a concept. I absolutely loved the writing style, and Tooth Fairy is a book that follows a young boy, and he and his friends roam around the outskirts of their car factory town, daring adults to challenge their freedom, until the day Sam wakes to find the Tooth Fairy sitting on the edge of his bed, not the benign figure of childhood myth, but an enigmatic presence that both torments and seduces him, changing his life forever. Is she real or just a figment of his turbulent imagination? All Sam knows as he painfully grows from childhood to adolescence is that she is never very far away. I have been so excited to read another Graham Joyce book. I loved Dreamside so much. It was one of my favorite books of last year. I'm so excited to get to this one. I really love the writing style of Dreamside, and I love that this one is horror. It is categorized as horror, I do believe, on like Goodreads. People were saying that it is very dark and it's very unsettling and creepy. Similar to Dreamside, that one was also unsettling and just kind of gave me the creepy crawlies. But I love that there are elements of magical realism in this and speculative fiction. Is it all in his head or is it actually happening? I love books that make me question the fabric of reality of the book and question the narrator, question the characters and their mental stability. So I'm really excited to add this. What a good pile! I'm getting really excited for June. Hopefully June will be the month that like actually gets me out of like this weird, very slow reading pace I've been going through, because I'm not necessarily in a slump. I've been reading good stuff, it's quality, but I'm just not reading enough or as much as I want. I shouldn't say enough. I'm not reading as much as I would like. I'm not going through books as quickly, but this stack is like so intriguing to me. A lot of dark spines, but that's fine because the concepts of them are just amazing. I'm so excited. Okay, so prompt number 6. I love when like the books start lining up like this. I just get like really geeked out. I'm really excited to read this month. Oh my goodness. Ooh, this prompt is the letter D. D as in dog. So I need, what books do I have that start with the letter D? Let me pull them down because they're all the way at the top and I can't reach them. Ooh, my friends. I have all my shorties. How does that happen? Like all of my shortest books are all in a row and they all start with D. That is very, very cool. So first we have, oh, that's C, actually. Chronicle of a Death Foretold. That is not in this pile. Sorry, Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Okay, first we have Dancing Girl of Izu by Yasunari Kawabata. This is a short story collection. I would really like to get to this one at some point, but I don't know if I'm necessarily feeling it for this month. Let's see the other options here. We have Dogeaters by Jessica Hagedorn. This is like surreal, bizarre, very summertime energy, so I'm feeling very, very pulled to this one right now, actually. I think this is just gonna be it. I love that right now I'm actually feeling inspired and not so like laissez-faire about what I'm picking. Like, I know I want to read Dogeaters this summer for sure. I picked up this book in my birthday vlog when I went thrifting on my birthday, so I'll link that video down below, but this follows a wildly disparate group of characters and they become caught up in this series of events, including like a beauty pageant, a film festival, and an assassination. And in the middle of it is a feisty schoolgirl who will grow up to live in America and look back with longing on the land of her youth, and it takes place in Manila. What is the time period here? I think it says, yeah, 1956. So I would love to read Dogeaters. This cover is so unsettling, but I love it so incredibly much. I'm gonna add this. This feels in the same vein to me as Sexing the Cherry, Jeanette Winterson, where it's like, you need to use a little bit more brain power, way more literary fiction, surrealism, absurdism, abstract thinking, abstract plot and characters, maybe some magical realism, but I'm in that mood. That's the stuff that becomes my favorite. I'm adding Dogeaters. I'm excited. I'm so pumped. Prompt number 7, my friends. Oh my goodness. Ooh, blue cover. I like that. I like that prompt because I have a lot of like teal colored book covers and they always feel like books to read in the summertime. So I have many. I actually have several. Oh man. Okay, let me pull them out. Oh my gosh, friends, is this not the most beautiful stack you've ever seen? What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? This is stunning. How am I gonna pick from these? These are literally all books that I want to read, like, for this month. Dang it. Okay, Let me just quickly show you what they are, and I think I'm gonna save this prompt for last to see what the rest of the stack is looking like, because I am not going to be able to pick from any of these. Like, they all are so summery to me. I could read any one of them like right now, right this minute, like stop this video and just start reading it. So that's gonna be very difficult for me to choose. So first off, we have Swimming Home by Deborah Levy. Yes, I know the cover isn't necessarily blue, but the spine is blue and the back is blue. We're just gonna count it as blue, okay? Then I have The Summer She Was Underwater by Jen Michalski. This is the book that I thrifted in that last video. Absolutely adore this cover as well. Then we have The Scent Keeper by Erika Bauermeister. This is a book that I found in a Little Free Library in my Little Free Library video, so I'll link that down below as well. Not me plugging my own shit. Then we have Mother Lunch by Kirsten Scott. I've been wanting to read this every summer since I got it, so it's now the second summer in a row that I really want to read this. Will I get to it? I hope so this summer. It better happen. It better happen. Then I have Green Cane and Juicy Flotsam, which is a collection of short stories by Caribbean women. Absolutely adore this cover. I found this one in the coolest bookstore to ever exist. It was in someone's home. I'll link that video down below because it was in a travel vlog and it was so much fun. I'll link that video down below just so I can reminisce on myself on that trip. It was amazing. And then lastly, we have Aquamarine by Carol Anshaw. I adore this cover. I found this one while thrifting in Ann Arbor, another travel vlog video. So I'll link that one down below too. If I can remember to link literally every single one of these, I guess this whole video is just a promo for all of the other videos I've ever done. So those are my blue books. I want to read all of them. They're also all female authors, so no wonder I want to read them. So I'm gonna wait until the very end to pick which one. Hopefully I'll come to some sort of consensus at that point and feel drawn to one in particular, but right now literally any of them will suffice. Okay, prompt number 8, nearing the end here already. We have, what? No way, The Last Book Thrifted. So all of the rest of the prompts in this jar for like the rest of the year are not gonna have any prompts of the last book anything. The last book bought new, the last book bought in general, the last book thrifted. They're all in this one video. What the hell? How does that happen? Well, I guess that makes things easy for me because the last book I thrifted was actually The Summer She Was Underwater by Jen Michalski, and narrowing down this like teal blue colored pile. But this is a literary fiction that follows a young novelist, and she is returning to spend 4th of July weekend with her family for the first time in 20 years. And in doing so, they have to reconcile a lot of their very toxic, content warning heavy things that happened in their past, very abusive, horrible, tumultuous relationships. But the book also goes in tandem with the novel that our main character Sam is working on, which is about a pregnant man who tries to solve the mystery of his fertility. It just sounds very unique, perfect little blend of like dynamic family relationships, literary fiction, and then the metaphorical story of this novel that our main character is working on and how those two can be like parallel to each other in this story and in the narrative. So I'm gonna add this one. Perfect. Easy peasy. Prompt number 9. Prompt number 9. Number 9. Ooh, okay, we have random letter generator. So let me get my laptop and we're gonna pick a random letter, whatever letter it lands on. That has to be the first letter of the book title. So let me get that. Here we go. Random letter generator, random letters from A to Z. F. Oh, as soon as we opened it, it just says F. I don't even know if you can see that. It's tiny. That's why it took me by surprise. Do I have a book that starts with F? Oh yeah, I do. I actually have quite a few. Woohoo! I have a lot of Fs. Look at me, not remembering I had a single book that started with the letter F. We literally just talked about one. Okay, so first I have Family of Origin by C.J. Hauser. This is gonna be a no for now. It's another family saga literary fiction. I can only handle one of those a month probably. Then I have Finite Continued by Anselm Hollo. This is a collection of poetry, so this is actually a maybe. I haven't read a book of poetry in so long, but whenever they land on my TBR, I just like never get to them and I feel really bad about it, but I feel like I would really enjoy this one, and it is translated from Finnish. So there's that. I'm gonna put that on here as a maybe. Oh, this could have been added to the blue pile as well. This is Fiona Range by Mary McGarry Morris. Gorgeous. Another literary fiction, much chunkier, following a depressed woman moving, basically. I'm gonna say that's a no as well for now. First Sister, no as well. Then we have Flowers in the Attic by V.C. Andrews. Probably not. You know, just another chaotic, dynamic family horror story. I'm good. I'm good for now. And then lastly is Follow Me to Ground by Sue Rainsford. I've heard wonderful things about this book, and it is very small. So I am in between that and Finite Country. It's been a while since I've read poetry, and just looking at this, it does seem really beautiful. Like, so pick up your body and let's go. Ludwig Wittgenstein, Restless for Peace. Rare bird may have taken wrong turn. One of only 100 whooping cranes believed left in the world. I love bizarre, weird poetry. Ooh, this is actually really inspiring me. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this one. Yeah, by Anselm Hollo. I just love surrealist poetry. I think the last book of poetry I read was Lighthead by Terrence Hayes. Freaking loved Lighthead. If you have a chance and you find a copy of Lighthead by Terrence Hayes, pick it up. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. It's amazing. So I'm gonna add this one. Why the heck not? Translated work. Okay, the last prompt, friends, before we have to pick one of our blue books is going to be, what is it going to be? Ooh, pink cover. We have pink. The TBR wanted me to have a successful reading month. Pink and blue book covers are the epitome of summer reading. Are you kidding me? So unfortunately, Killer Content is already taken. That is the most vibrant pink cover. Ooh, look at that pink. Ooh, it's mainly the covers. The covers are way more pink. So I already know which one I'm gonna pick, but I will briefly share what they are. First, we have Beautiful Animals by Lawrence Osborne. This isn't necessarily a fully pink cover, but that spine is so deliciously pink. Then we have I Am Claudius, Travels with My Cat by Claire DeVries. Then we have Just Like Beauty by Lisa Lerner. And I'm actually finally going to be adding Luster by Raven Leilani on my TBR. I'm so excited. Look at this freaking gorgeous cover. In the camera, it definitely looks way more red, but in person, it's a little bit more magenta-y. That holographic cover is just divine. I've been wanting to read this for a while. I'm so happy it's finally here and I'm actually feeling ready for it. This is a case of one of those books that I hear a lot of booktubers talk about or people in my life talk about, and then I see a copy of it at Goodwill. I pick it up because I know people have sung its praises, but I personally just wasn't feeling pulled to it. But right now, I'm feeling very pulled to this book. It is a literary fiction that follows a woman named Edie. She is making a series of inappropriate sexual choices, and she decides to move in, I think, with a family that has an open marriage. It navigates the constantly shifting landscapes of contemporary sexual manners and racial politics. I've just heard really wonderful things. Literary fiction, young woman trying to make her way through the world and figure out herself and figure out her life. And I didn't really ever realize like how short this is, so I'm very excited. So I'm gonna add this one. Okay, my friends, with all of that being said, I think I know exactly what book I'm gonna pick for the last prompt that I'm choosing, and I think I'm actually going to go with Aquamarine by Carol Anshaw. I've wanted to read this for a while now. This definitely appears to be a summer book. Look at that cover. And it's very small and slim and something that I really want to get to. And it reads on the back, imagine how different your life might be if you had taken another path at a crucial turning point in the past. Aquamarine explores the intricate ways early choices reverberate through a life. Shown in triptych is Jessie Austen, on the verge of turning 40 in 1990, inhabiting 3 equally possible lives. And it bounces between losing the gold medal for the 100-meter freestyle at the 1968 Olympics, and then it weaves together 3 different scenarios of options of her life. And I think this sounds divine. Again, I just feel like this would be so fun and page-turning and engaging, and also make me think a lot. I love books that make me question life and the different choices we make. So I'm gonna add this as the last and final book to this beautiful June TBR. So there we have it, friends. That is my gorgeous June stack. There's not a single book on here that like I don't want to read right now. And that's a really great sign. That's a very, very good sign. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I hope I can get to every single one of them, but we shall see if I can believe in myself that much and think I can get through all of these books in 1 month. It's possible, right? So thank you so incredibly much for being here with me, friends. I really hope you're doing well. Definitely let me know what you're planning on reading in the month of June. I would love to hear. If you played along with the prompts, let me know what books you ended up picking with those. And if you made it to the end, let's comment, because we haven't done this in a little bit. Let's comment like some blue emojis. I'm thinking specifically of that gorgeous wave emoji, but I just love that like teal color so much. Let's just do some blue stuff. And I hope you all are doing really, really well. Thank you so incredibly much for being here, friends. And I can't wait to see you all again very soon for my next video. Stay cozy, my friends. Bye!